Gentlemen of the press, thank you for making time to talk to coach and player. Remember, this press conference would only last 15 minutes. Please be short and precise in your questions. We are talking to Coach Rashid Abdulrahman and to my man Joshua Hall. Please ask your questions loudly so we can hear your name and the organ you represent. Mo?
اهلا بكم في المؤتمر الصحفي لمباراة بيترو دي لواندا وكيب تاون تايجرز. معانا النهارده كوتش رشيد عبد الرحمن واللعيب رقم 5 جوشوا هول. زي كل مرة قبل ما تسألوا سؤال اسمكم والهيئة اللي انتوا تابعين ليها. احنا مدة المؤتمر الصحفي ربع ساعة، فياريت الأسئلة تبقى واضحة ومختصرة.
All right, gentlemen, let's take some questions. Leo?
Coach, a couple of questions for you. First of all, do you feel like you were missing some size and some physicality out there? And then second of all, you know, when there's a situation like this, somebody who's as high a profile as Zaire, you know that he's going to suffer maybe a little bit more than the others because of the focus on him, because of his father. And that is something that I think you understand well yourself, because you also had a high-profile father figure to look up to. And is there anything that you can do to make it easier for him?
Great question.
First thing is, there's no excuse. They were a better team than size. It wasn't a problem in the last game, so you can't make that excuse. That is a very well-coached team. They play with a lot of discipline, and they excuse my language, they kicked our asses. It's really that simple. You don't gloat in victory. You don't make excuses in defeat. We just lost to a better team, and the size didn't matter, right? We didn't play with enough heart, enough passion. We didn't stay together. We played with a lack of discipline that was very disappointing. It just wasn't good enough. And against a team of that caliber, when you do those things, you're going to lose by 40. I've been on the other end of those, you know, with those Laker teams, and that's what happens. You have to. We weren't ready for the moment. Period. Point blank. We weren't ready for the moment, and that's not something. I'm not one of those coaches that just says my players weren't ready for the moment. I need to prepare them better for the moment. And so we all have to go back to the drawing board, and we have to do better in the next game, because the next game is against another juggernaut that's going to play their butts off. They're going to play with discipline and Al-Ahi, and we're not going to make the excuse because they got the big fella and we're not big enough and we don't have enough. It's not an excuse. You come and you compete and you find a way. If we want to be champions, if we forget being champions, if we want to get to Kigali, that's the first step. And the first thing we have to do is we have to compete. And then with regard to Zaire, I don't really understand the question, because Zaire competes. I thought he played really hard. I thought he did his part as best as he could do. And let me remind everybody, you're not watching Dwayne Wade, and I'm not coaching Dwayne Wade. So there's no need to ask about his father, any comparisons, none of that stuff. The best version of Zaire is more than enough for the Cape Town Tigers and more than enough for me as a coach. He's been unbelievably coachable. He's worked his butt off, and I think you guys are seeing he's showing his class, right? Not only as a player, but as a human being. You should see the lives that he's touched in Johannesburg by giving shoes to children, by giving shoes to the caretaker of the building that we practice at. So anybody who thinks that there's some disappointment in Zaire, they need to go and read a basketball book, because he's not only showing that he's a heck of a basketball player, but he's a hell of a human being. And I'm extremely proud of him. Extremely proud of the effort that he put out tonight. He's not one of the guys that I would point out that didn't give a great effort tonight. All right, and so thank you for the question, but Zaire Wade is making himself proud, and he's making his father proud and the rest of his family. And I want to be clear to the world on that. And anybody who has a problem with that, message me and have the conversation, and I'll let you know what it is.
سؤال للكوتش، هل كنتوا شايفين سؤالين للكوتش؟ السؤال الاول كان هل كنتوا شايفين ان في فرق الاحجام هو اللي كان مديكوا جانب سلبي في المباراه وما كنتوش عارفين تلعبوا بسببه؟ السؤال الثاني كان بخصوص اللعيب رقم 0 زاير ويد، هل شايف ان في ضغوطات عليه بسبب ان هو بيلعب باسم والده وان هو ممكن يكون بيحاول يرتقي لسمعه والده في عالم كرة السله؟ الكوتش رد قال بالنسبه للسؤال الاول احنا ما اديناش بالاداء الكافي المطلوب، ما كناش مستعدين، ما فيش حاجه تتقال اكتر من كده. فرق الحجم ما كانش مشكله بالنسبه لنا في المباراه الاولانيه، فمش هينفع نيجي دلوقتي نقول ان هو السبب في الهزيمه بتاعتنا دلوقتي. وفي الاخر احنا كلنا ما كناش مستعدين بما فيه الكفايه، وجزء من المسؤوليه ده بيقع عليا انا كمدرب، ان انا المفروض للمباراه الجايه اجهز لعيبتي بشكل احسن، وخصوصا ان احنا المباراه الجايه هنلاعب فريق قوي جدا زي فريق الاهلي، هيلعب بنفس العدائيه بنفس الاسلوب القوي بنفس اللعيبه اللي فيه فرق احجام ما بيننا وما بينهم، فما ينفعش يبقى ده المبرر بتاعنا في الهزيمه بالنسبه للعيب زاير ويد. الناس محتاجه تفتكر ان انا بمرن زاير ويد، ما بمرنش بابا دوين ويد، وان زاير افضل نسخه منه هي كافيه جدا وزياده لكيب تاون تايجرز. هو لعيب بيبدي قابليه للتدريب وبيستقبل المعلومات وبيستقبل التعليمات مننا بصدر رحب جدا، وبيأثر على حياه ناس كتير قوي سواء في جوهانسبرج في جنوب افريقيا او في المبنى اللي احنا بنتمرن فيه. والناس اللي عندها مشكله مع كده وشايفه ان الكلام ده مش مظبوط محتاجين يراجعوا الحسابات وييجوا يكلموني انا في الموضوع ده.
Well, I think that I hope you translated the last part. It's kind of hard to translate something that deep, Coach.
Yeah, I did. Don't worry.
That was deep. Thank you, Coach. Let's have another question from François.
François Martinet pour BAL Action. Coach, hier, vous avez eu des mots pour vos joueurs. Vous parliez d'habitude de champion, d'attitude de champion pour être champion. Est-ce que vous avez vu ces attitudes et ces habitudes aujourd'hui de la part de vos joueurs? Et deuxième partie de la question, j'aimerais savoir si vous pensez que les 40 points d'écart reflètent réellement la différence de niveau entre les Tigers et on va dire la meilleure équipe d'Afrique actuellement.
Well, Coach, you definitely spoke about the spirit of winning, like having the gut to win, and you spoke about in the last press conference about your team having the winner DNA. Sort of, do you see that today still in this game? And the second question is the point difference, 39 points. Do you think that reflects truly the difference in level between your team and the team you played against?
First thing I'll say, I don't doubt our winning DNA, and I'll answer that question altogether. We just ran into a very well-coached team that played better than us. It's always easy to sit here and talk about what we didn't do, but that would be disrespectful to Petro and to Coach Neto and the way he prepared his team for this entire BAL season. They were just better than us, man. They were better coached. They played better, and you just have to own it. And I don't think it calls into question our winning DNA at all. We just ran, this is one of those times, and you get humbled, all right? As a team, as an organization, you get humbled. And like I said, they came here, they kicked our butts, and I won't make any excuse, and I want to make sure that we give the credit to Petro for what they did. It had nothing to do with what we didn't do. They came in and they did their job. They came in and they played their butts off. They executed their game plan better than we did, and they paid more attention to detail. And so we have to learn from a great team like that. There's a reason that they're one of the top teams in all of Africa. There's a reason. They beat their last team by 30 as well, so they got 70 points plus 70 points in the last 2 days. All right, just an unbelievably well-coached team, and much respect to all their players. I think they have some great players on that roster who I think you could, again, take that team anywhere in the world, in any league, and they're going to compete. All right, I don't know if they're going to win, but they're going to compete, and that's where it all starts. You have to play hard and you have to compete. And so I tip my cap to Petro and to Coach Neto and their entire roster, and I hope my team learn from them, all right, because they gave us a lesson in what winning DNA really is. So we may have thought we had it, but we saw it tonight. They have it.
Thank you, Coach.
سؤال الكوتش عن انت كنت دايما تتكلم ان مع اللعيبه بتاعتك ان هم ينزلوا يلعبوا بعقليه البطل، وهل كنت شايف ان هم كانوا بيلعبوا بالاسلوب ده النهارده؟ وهل شايف ان فرق ال 39 نقطه بيعكس الفرق ما بين مستوى كيب تاون تايجرز ومستوى فريق من يعتبر افضل فريق دلوقتي في افريقيا؟ كوتش رد قال ان طبعا مش هتكلم كتير في مستوانا، لان ده هيقلل من مستوى لعب بيترو، هيقلل من الاحترام المستحق ليهم. هم فريق قوي جدا وفريق بيعتمد على اللعيبه بتاعته كلها. كان احترام كامل وكبير جدا لكوتش نيتو على المجهود اللي هو بيعمله مع الفريق بتاعه، سواء في التجهيز او في التحضير او في التغييرات اللي بيعملها خلال المباراه. هو حضر فريقه بشكل جيد جدا. احنا كان ممكن كنا شايفين ان احنا عندنا عقليه البطل في اسلوب اللعب، لكن احنا النهارده لما نزلنا نلعب شفنا يعني ايه يبقى عندك عقليه لعب فعلا في اسلوب لعب بيترو. واحب احييهم واديهم كل الاحترام، سواء جهاز فني او القائمه كلها، اللعيبه كلها بتأدي باداء جيد جدا، والكوتش بيقوم بالاداء المطلوب منه عشان يحضر الفريق للماتشات.
Let's have a last question for Hall, please.
Question for Coach and Josh. Manyasi Salihotla from the Big Tip-Off. Coach, I'm sure by now you are aware of the state of the game back home in South Africa. How difficult is it, to prepare your team, given how other teams on the continent play regularly, and you guys have to rely on scrimmages to get ready? How difficult is it for you guys when you get here and have to compete against such high-level competition teams?
I mean, I guess it's difficult, but again, just can't make excuses. What I want to do is, I think we need to help South Africa basketball, and we need to help the professional league. If the Cape Town Tigers really want to make a contribution to basketball in South Africa, then I think we have a responsibility to be a part of that league to see if we can help raise the level. Anything short of that, we're not only cheating the game, but we're cheating the country that supports us so much. And so, I'm with Coach Flosh, Coach Vincent Tunja, and, Coach Flosh being the coach of the national team, I've already told him that I'll be his assistant coach, and I'll help him, develop a grassroots program so that we can rebrand and build South Africa and the national team back up, so that the country has something that they can be proud of. So I'm not going to make that excuse. We played against some great guys that showed up for us, and they competed hard, and they helped us prepare for this. So again, saying that to me would take away from what this great team did in Petro, and I refuse to do that. We know what the state of basketball is in South Africa, and for me personally, that's a part of my mission in being here. It's bigger than just basketball and coming to BAL and representing. If we don't make a positive contribution within the country, then we've totally failed in this mission, period, point blank. So while it may be a little difficult because we didn't have a season, doesn't matter. Petro's just a hell of a team, and we will do our part in helping to make basketball better in South Africa and to bring the level up.
A comment from Josh?
Can I translate this bit first so
Okay.
that I can get it all?
Then we have a comment from Josh after that.
السؤال كان للكوتش واللعيب. علما بحالة كرة السلة في أفريقيا مفيش بطولة منظمة، عشان تتحضروا للبطولة دي كنتوا محتاجين تلعبوا مباريات ودية متفرقة. هل ده جزء من السبب في النتيجة بتاعت النهاردة، والسبب في ان انتوا ممكن ما تبقوش قادرين تنافسوا الفرق قوية زي بيترو بسبب اللي بيلعبوا دوريات مستمرة وبيلعبوا في منافسات عالية في الدوريات المحلية؟ كوتش راد قال طبعا بس ده مش ممكن ده يكون صعب المهمة شوية، لكن في الآخر ده مش مبرر. أنا مش هخش في أي مبررات عشان ده هيقلل من الاحترام المستحق لفريق بيترو. هم فريق قوي جدا وفريق كويس جدا، واحنا عارفين حالة كرة السلة في جنوب أفريقيا، واحنا وده جزء من مهمتي هنا بوجودي مع كيب تاون، مش إن أنا بس ألعب وأكسب البطولة، إن أنا أساهم في تحسين كرة السلة في جنوب أفريقيا. وأنا تواصلت مع المدير الفني للمنتخب الجنوب أفريقي لكرة السلة، واتفقت معاه إن أنا هبقى المدرب المساعد بتاعه، وهساعده في إنشاء برنامج ناشئين في جنوب أفريقيا عشان نرتفع بمستوى كرة السلة، عشان الموضوع أكبر من مجرد لعبة. احنا محتاجين نطور كرة السلة في جنوب أفريقيا، وده جزء من مهمتنا. بس في الآخر ده مش مبرر للنتيجة، ومش مبرر للي حصل، ومش مبرر لفرق المستوى، عشان ده في الآخر هيقلل من الاحترام لبيترو. وهم فريق كبير جدا، وفريق أدى كل اللي عليه وزيادة، وهو ده السبب في المستوى العالي اللي هم فيه. Josh, your comment?
And since nobody had a question for Josh, I have one for him. You know, coming from where you came from, Josh, you played, been in the NBA, G League, and, how do you find it in yourself to come out and compete the way you do, the way you play so hard every night and lead your team the way you did in spirit and in energy? A lot of guys would come here and they would think they're too cool for this. What is it in you that allows you to play with that kind of effort?
I'm good. I'll just say, when I was in the NBA, I was like the last guy, one of the last guys. I wasn't in this role that I am in now, and I know what it's like to be that last guy. You know what I'm saying? In a game like this right here, my morals are intact. We lost by 40 points. I'm still on the bench cheering my teammates on, because at the end of the day, those are the guys who I come in and I prepare with. And those are the guys who, at the end of the game, the ones who are in, they helped us prepare for Petro, and they were in the spot for some of the plays. So I just feel like it's pretty simple. At the end of the day, this is my job. This is what I get paid to do, and I love playing basketball. And yeah, like my mom, she's a lawyer back home. She don't want to wake up and represent clients, stay up 25/8, and all I gotta do is come here play basketball for a max of 4 hours, and I feel like that's pretty easy. But at the end of the day, I still gotta be better. I think this is my second game where I had more than 2 turnovers, but I'll improve on that. We got 3 more games left.
السؤال كان من الكوتش للعيب. انت لعيب لعب في الان بي اي وفي الجي ليج ولعبت في جميع مستويات كرة السلة. ايه الدافع اللي بيخليك تيجي وتنافس في بطولة زي دي وتلعب مع الفريق بتاعك وتقودهم في المباريات اللي زي دي وتنزل تأدي بالاداء العالي اللي احنا بنشوفه منك؟ اجابه اللعيب كانت ان هو في الان بي اي ما كانش في الوضع اللي هو فيه ده، كان احد اخر اللعيبه في ترتيب اللعيبه في الفرقه، وهو عارف الاحساس ده، وده شيء مش سهل. لكن ان هو دلوقتي يبقى موجود بيلعب في فريق بيقوده، ده حاجه بتخليه يتواصل مع نفسه من جوه، وان هو يحس ان هو بيقدم حاجه كويسه. وفي الاخر ان هو يجي يلعب مباراه كره سله مقارنه بوالدته اللي بتشتغل محاميه وبتقعد تشتغل اكتر من 24 ساعه في كل يوم، فده شيء سهل بالنسبه له. في الاخر هو هنا عشان يعمل تاثير ايجابي على كره السله في جنوب افريقيا وفي افريقيا كلها.
Thank you, Coach. Oh, it was a pleasure having you in the locker room. Thank you. Thank you,
guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck. Gentlemen, thank you for staying this late for this post-game press conference. We're talking to Coach Neto and Pedro. Thank you so much. Please, guys, let's be short and precise in our questions. Introduce yourselves, name, organ. Just a quick reminder, please, guys. Let's respect these guys who are recording. Let's not have people walk in and out because it does mess it up. Thank you.
المؤتمر الصحفي النهارده معانا اللعيب رقم 7 جون بيدرو، ومعانا كوتش جوزي نيتو زي المؤتمر اللي فات بالظبط، ويا ريت بس ما حدش يقوم يتحرك كتير عشان التسجيل والكاميرات اللي شغاله ورا.
Question?
Leonard Soames, ESPN. Coach, did you feel that the Cape Town Tigers maybe couldn't match you in terms of size and physicality, and that was the difference between the teams today?
Let me talk in Portuguese, and Johnny help me, please, because I need to express some things that in English I'm not able to talk. Okay? Sorry, Leo. Okay, I will talk in Portuguese and Johnny translate.
Okay.
A primeira coisa é que eu falo todos os dias para os meus jogadores e para a minha equipa. A melhor forma de respeitar o adversário ou respeitar qualquer pessoa é dar o melhor que nós temos. Essa é a melhor forma de respeitar. Então, nós respeitamos muito o programa e a equipa do Cape Town. Coach, jogadores, nós respeitamos muito. Por isso nós demos o nosso melhor. E acredito que o nosso melhor, de como nós jogamos e porque respeitamos esse adversário, nós acabamos com essa diferença. E acredito que essa diferença é fruto muito mais do trabalho que fizemos do que um trabalho que eles não fizeram. Acho que isso é muito mérito do que nós produzimos hoje.
Like Coach was saying that since the beginning, it's always important for us to respect the opponent, and by doing so, we have to give our best. So because we respect them, that's why we gave our best. So I think it lies on our confidence and our work that we put in daily, and go out there and perform. That's why, and I think it has more to do with our job than like with what we did rather than what they didn't do.
السؤال للكوتش، هل شايف ان فريق كيب تاون تايجرز ما كانش قادر يجاريكم من حيث الحجم والعدوانيه والعدوانيه في اسلوب اللعب؟ كوتش رد قال ان هو اللعيبه بتاعته من اول المباراه وهي نازله عارفين ان هم هيحترموا الخصم، وعشان يحترموا الخصم ده معناه ان هم يدوا اقصى ما عندهم طوال المباراه، وهو ده اللي هم عملوه من اول المباراه لاخرها، وهو ده اللي تسبب في النتيجه. وهو في الاخر الموضوع راجع للي هم عملوه مش للي كيب تاون تايجرز ما قدروش يعملوا او ما عملوهوش.
Okay, if there's no other question, one more question, please.
So I know now you're officially qualified to the finals. So what do you think, or how do you feel about what are you gonna make in the upcoming 2 games?
Coach or player?
Well, both of them. Let's have Jose answer first, and then we'll have Coach answer later.
I think it's the same focus. Like I don't think that the coach and neither us as players see it that way, because otherwise we could leave today and just see you in Kigali. But like we got 2 more games to go, whether we qualified or not. So, and I think that the focus lies on that. Like prepare ourselves, get some rest, and go and do the maximum effort to keep our record straight. And I think this is where the focus is. We don't look at it that way.
Coach, any comment on that?
Eu acredito que, como eu falei anteriormente, eu só esqueci de uma coisa. Eu falei que nós respeitamos o coach, os jogadores, mas nós respeitamos muito essa competição. E essa competição, ela espera que nós possamos fazer sempre o nosso melhor, independente da qualificação que a gente tem, independente da posição que a gente está hoje. Então, como nós respeitamos muito, nós vamos dar o nosso melhor. Nós treinamos todos os dias para vencer. Todos os dias nós treinamos para ser melhores, um pouco melhor. Então, não vai ser agora que... Nem sei se a gente já atingiu a qualificação para outra fase, mas não vai ser por isso que a gente vai deixar os 2 jogos de jogar de qualquer maneira. Pelo respeito que nós temos a essa competição, aos adversários e ao trabalho que nós fazemos.
Coach was saying that when he said what he said before, he left one thing out, and which is that we also respect the competition. Like, we respect the tournament, and we know that we need to do our best to be the best we can in order to perform and to compete. That's why we practice every day to win. This is our main focus and this is our main goal, regardless. If we don't have no games no more, then we can rest, but we still got games to go. And it's all about that. It's about respect within ourselves, to the opponent and the tournament.
سؤال للكوتش واللعيب، انتوا رسميا اتأهلتوا للنهائيات في كيجالي، شايفين ازاي المباراتين المتبقيين؟ اللعيب رد قال ان احنا بالنسبه لنا هي نظرتنا للمباراتين القادمين هم نفس النظره اللي كانت عندنا للثلاث مباريات اللي فاتوا. احنا لسه نازلين بنفس العزيمه وبنفس الاصرار ان احنا نكسب المباريات عشان نخلص مجموعه النيل بسجل نظيف من غير ولا هزيمه. ولو ما كانش الامر كده احنا كان ممكن نخلص الثلاث ماتشات ونتاهل رسميا ونقول لكم خلاص هنشوفكم في كيجالي، لكن ده دي مش الحاله. احنا هنا عشان نكسب الماتشات كلها وعشان نأدي وعشان ننافس على البطوله. الكوتش لما رد قال ان هو كان في حاجه كان عايز يقولها في السؤال اللي قبله ونسي، وهي ليها علاقه برد عن السؤال ده، ان هم برضو كمان بيحترموا البطوله. هم جايين وعارفين ان هي هتبقى بطوله صعبه جدا، وعارفين ان هم هيلعبوا فرق قويه جدا، وان هم هيحتاجوا يأدوا باحسن ما عندهم عشان يبقوا الاحسن ويتحسنوا كل يوم عشان يوصلوا لاعلى مستوى هم ممكن يوصلوا له ويكسبوا البطوله. وهو ده اللي ممكن يكون سبب النتائج اللي فاتت دي وسبب المكاسب اللي هم كسبوها، وهو ده النظره والعزيمه والاصرار اللي هم هيكملوا بيها المباراتين القادمين كمان المباريات المتبقيه في كيجالي.
Thank you, coach. Thank you, Pedro. We appreciate you guys. Have a good game.
Yep.
Good luck with the next 2 games.
Thank you.